Welcome back, everyone. Let's just jump right in. Imagine a world where you literally never have to plug in your phone again. A world where electric cars charge while they're driving down the highway, and your entire house just pulls limitless, invisible electricity right out of the thin air. I know, it sounds like absolute science fiction, right? But this was the genuine, all-consuming ambition of one of history's most brilliant minds, Nikola Tesla. Today, in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating reality behind his grandest, wildest vision.
Okay, to really understand this, we need to look at a quote that kind of changes everything. Back in 1899, while he was running these crazy experiments in Colorado Springs, Tesla came to a really profound realization. He wrote, "The Earth is literally alive with electrical vibrations." He didn't just look down and see dirt and rocks like the rest of us. He saw the planet as this massive, naturally charged conductor that was just waiting to be tapped into. Which naturally brings us to the giant elephant in the room, the central question of this whole explainer. If Tesla had this monumental, world-changing breakthrough over a century ago, why is our modern world still so hopelessly tangled up in wires and charging tables? Was there some massive conspiracy? Was it a failure of funding? Or did he just hit a hard wall of physics? Well, here's our roadmap for figuring that out. We're going to systematically break this all down. We'll start with the World Wireless Stream itself, head over to his massive Colorado Springs experiments, unpack the actual science of Earth resonance, explore the tragic Wardenclyffe Tower project, deliver a reality check on why it ultimately failed, and then finally look at where Tesla's wireless legacy lives on today. Section 1. The World Wireless Dream. So Tesla's ultimate ambition was to distribute power globally without a single wire. Now, if you spend enough time roaming around the internet, you're going to see this concept get totally hijacked by fringe theories talking about zero-point energy and infinite free power. But our sources make it clear that's a modern quantum mechanics concept. Tesla's actual 1901 patent was focused on what he called radiant energy. He was looking at early concepts of ionized electromagnetic waves that actually carry an electric potential. And when you look at the mechanical specifics in his actual patent diagrams, you don't see magic. You see condensers, armatures, and incredibly precise circuitry. It just goes to show that Tesla was a very grounded, methodical engineer. He was using high-frequency transformers to manipulate huge amounts of electrical potential, trying to quite literally harvest energy from the surrounding environment. Section 2. The Colorado Springs Experiments. To test out these massive theories back in 1899, Tesla built a custom, highly secretive station out in Colorado, equipped with a magnifying transmitter, and the physical results? Literally staggering. We're talking 100-foot electrical discharges and an estimated 4 million volts of electricity being generated. But, okay, while he was doing this, something wild happened that birthed one of the internet's all-time favorite space mysteries. Tesla started picking up these strange rhythmic signals. He genuinely believed they were extraterrestrial, like a literal first contact situation. This one event birthed the entire Black Knight satellite conspiracy. If you haven't heard of it, the theory claims there's a 13,000-year-old alien satellite just in orbit, watching us, and the proof people use is crazy. They point to the 1950s when the Navy reportedly detected a dark object in orbit before we even had satellites. Then they say astronaut Gordon Cooper saw a glowing green object in 1963. And the ultimate proof? Unedited NASA photos from the 1998 Space Shuttle Endeavour mission showing this incredibly menacing, jagged, alien-looking spacecraft. For a viewer, it looks terrifyingly real. But let's do an analytical reality check because the truth is just as fascinating. The Black Knight isn't a single object. It's a Frankenstein monster of unrelated events stitched together online. Those signals Tesla heard, modern astrophysicists believe he was picking up radio emissions from pulsars, rapidly rotating neutron stars, which weren't officially discovered until 1967. That 1950s dark object, just a broken piece of an early discoverer rocket casing. And that terrifying NASA photo from '98? It's literally just a trunnion pin thermal cover. During a spacewalk, an astronaut just lost their grip on a thermal blanket, and because there's no air resistance, it drifted away into orbit. Space trash. Anyway, back to what Tesla was actually trying to build with all that electricity. He was trying to generate what researchers call the power wave. He believed he could combine a super low-frequency 8 Hz wave, which, by the way, is remarkably close to the natural Schumann resonance of the Earth's electromagnetic cavity, with a higher 60 kHz carrying signal. The whole idea was to use the 8 Hz wave to essentially ring the Earth like a giant bell, while that 60 kHz signal could be tuned into by small antennas literally anywhere in the world to extract power.
Section 3. The science of Earth resonance.
So how was the physics of this supposed to actually work? It was a 3-step process. Step 1, inject high-frequency current deep into the ground. Step 2, create standing waves in the Earth. Tesla actually used a brilliant visual analogy for this. Imagine pumping rhythmic bursts of air into a rubber bottle so the pressure expands evenly all around the inside. Then, step 3, once the entire Earth is resonating, you simply tap into that energy anywhere on the planet with a perfectly tuned receiver. But here is the crucial sticking point and why modern science strongly disagrees with his theory. Tesla strictly believed in longitudinal waves, often called scalar waves, passing directly through the physical Earth. However, established physics proves that radio waves actually travel as transverse electromagnetic waves through the air. They mostly travel in straight lines, radiating outward, and they lose power the further they go. Section 4. The Wardenclyffe Tower Project. Despite all the skepticism, Tesla was absolutely determined to prove the physics community wrong. Enter Wardenclyffe Tower in New York. This was his massive, fateful attempt to bring his wireless stream to the commercial market. And the timeline here is honestly a pretty tragic arc. In 1900, the legendary J.P. Morgan funds a pilot project. Construction begins in 1901. But here's the catch. Tesla secretly scaled up the design. He wanted to transmit raw power to outdo his rival, Guglielmo Marconi. Well, when Morgan found out Marconi was already successfully sending cheap radio signals across the ocean, he immediately pulled the plug on Tesla's expensive power experiment. By 1906, the project was totally abandoned, and in 1917, that magnificent tower was demolished for scrap.
Section 5. Why the dream failed.
So, beyond just losing his funding, why couldn't a brilliant inventor like Tesla simply finish his grand design? Well, the modern engineering consensus gives us a few harsh realities. First, the inverse square law dictates massive, unavoidable energy loss over distance when transmitting through the air. Second, you can't easily target the energy. It just goes everywhere. Third, blasting raw electrical power wirelessly poses catastrophic safety and radiation concerns. And finally, the sheer economic impracticality of just abandoning our fully working, wired infrastructure was way too high a hurdle for anyone to jump. Section 6. Tesla's wireless legacy today. But hey, it is so important to remember that his work was not in vain. Pieces of his wild dream actually survived and evolved into the foundational technologies we use every single day. His theories on wireless communication totally paved the way for Wi-Fi and radio. His ideas on atmospheric resonance evolved into high-frequency atmospheric research facilities like HARP. And wireless power? I mean, we literally use it to charge our smartphones via Qi chargers. And right now, aerospace engineers are actively testing space-based solar panels designed to beam microwave energy straight back to Earth. I think the core takeaway from all of this is beautifully simple. Energy should be as free and accessible as sunlight. Tesla's main drive wasn't just to build a neat gadget to make a quick buck. He had a deeply philosophical goal: to liberate humanity through accessible energy. Even if the physics of his specific tower were a bit flawed, his vision for an empowered, connected world was incredibly profound. I want to leave you with a final thought. The universe is deeply mysterious, and while things like the Black Knight satellite turn out to just be lost space trash or misidentified pulsars, our entire obsession with it proves just how badly human beings want to find something incredible waiting for us out in the dark. We crave that discovery. So when we look at the constraints of our modern power grids and the incredible untapped potential of radiant energy and our own planet's electromagnetic fields, what if the real path to the energy of the future actually involves reviving and refining what was lost in the past? Thanks for diving into this explainer with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.